CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Chinese company CNOOC has agreed to buy Calgary-based oil and gas producer Nexon for $15.1 billion in cash. CNOOC is one of China's three major state-owned oil producers. Nexon is Canada's 12th largest energy company, producing more than 200,000 barrels of oil per day. Analysts say buying an oil company makes more sense for the Chinese than paying someone else to import the resource. The NDP says it wants the federal government to hold a full-fledged public review of the $15 billion takeover. The feds say the proposed deal will be examined under the Investments Canada Act. The province is clamping down on scrap metal dealers and sellers in efforts to prevent copper wire theft. Starting today, BC metal recyclers must report all their daily purchases to police. The new rules will help officers track down stolen metals and seek court orders to track down violators. The new rules also put a stop to large cash transactions on site. If a seller has more than $50 in metal, they'll no longer be paid in cash. They'll have to be paid by check to help reduce the amount of sellers looking to make a quick buck. Provincial inspectors will be checking scrap yards for any violations. Purchasers who fail to register with the province and fulfill record-keeping and sharing requirements risk fines of up to $100,000. If you were heading to Discovery Island, you'll have to put your plans on hold. Conservation officers are closing down the provincial park to try and capture a lone wolf prowling the area. Officers are setting up leg hold traps around the island to catch the animal. BC Park says the traps are designed to capture, not injure the wolf. Conservation officers will tranquilize the wolf after it's caught, then release it in a more suitable environment. BC Parks asks the public to not visit the island because wolves are very sensitive to human scent, and it could ruin the chance of catching the wolf. The park will remain closed until further notice. The Vancouver SPCA is on a manhunt trying to track down the owner of a German Shepherd that was left for dead in a Kitsilano dumpster. It's been 4 days since the dog named Captain died and still no sign of his owner. Investigators who visited the apartment where the dog lived after a search warrant was granted say bags of evidence were seized. The SPCA won't say what was inside. Results of forensic tests and a necropsy aren't complete, but Captain had extensive injuries to his spine and torso. He was likely a paraplegic. Police say if a person is found responsible for causing these injuries, they could be charged under the criminal code and face up to 5 years in jail. If you happen to have a slithering pet missing, Saanich Police can point you in the right direction. Officers were called to the 900 block of McBriar Avenue last night after reports of a snake on the loose. Police say a homeowner found the meter-long California king snake in their backyard. Officers were able to trap the snake in a garbage can, then take it to the Capital Regional District Animal Shelter. It's believed the snake was someone's pet that either escaped or was released into the wild.
Well, he seems quite well handled. He's pretty placid. He hasn't tried to bite me yet. And yeah, he's a little bit underweight. He was just found kind of roaming around, so I don't know if he was an escapee or somebody actually dumped him because they couldn't care for him anymore. Right now, he's only about 1 foot to 1.5 foot in length, but they can get up to 4 to 5 feet long.
If this is your pet or you know who it may belong to, please call the CRD Animal Shelter at 250-658-5745. Family and friends gathered to celebrate the life of Vancouver Island television legend Ida Clarkson today. Clarkson lost her battle with lung cancer at age 85. Her family and friends came to say their final goodbyes at a memorial service this afternoon. Clarkson was known as a veteran in radio and as the first female broadcaster in Victoria. Her family says she will be greatly missed and never forgotten.
She was an incredible mother, grandmother, friend. We did a lot of stuff at her home. We played games, we sang songs, we did it all.
It was just so, people would come on, they'd be nervous and that she was going to be interviewing, and but she'd put them right at their ease right away. She just had that knack. She was just a beautiful lady.
You know, my impressions of Ida are that she was always cool under fire. I guess I saw her in the live, well, everything she did was live, I guess, and I remember her being pretty a calming influence to the young upcoming cameraman or something. She was a real pro.
Clarkson leaves behind her 3 daughters, 4 grandchildren, and a great-grandchild. A group of kayakers is hoping to send a message to oil tankers off BC's coast. The group called Save Our Shores is concerned about an increase in tanker traffic off the province's coast, saying it poses a risk to the coastline. Organizers say if there was a spill, it would be nearly impossible to clean up.
Were there to be a major sort of Exxon Valdez size spill on the coast, it would be very, very hard, almost near impossible to clean it up. And it would be devastating for not only people like me who do kayaking and run businesses, but they're fishermen and anyone else who enjoys our coast.
To send a message, the group spent the day linking up their kayaks, forming a line stretching more than 1,200 feet, the same length as a tanker. The Nanaimo RCMP Victim Services Center needs your help after what it calls a large spike in demand. The Victim Services Department is looking for new volunteers to help out around the office after what it says is an alarming number of victims asking for assistance just recently. The detachment says it is seeking mature and trustworthy individuals who can offer support on weekends to help with the crisis call-out line. If you're 19 years old and are willing to work in a fast-paced environment, you may be the perfect candidate.
We are here to provide emotional support to victims of crime. We are also act as a liaison between the RCMP and the victim, so we can give them updates on how the police investigation is coming along or any information that needs to be provided. We also provide information on court, so if they're not familiar with the process, we can let them know how that is, as well as court accompaniment. So like I said, it's a fast-paced work environment, so if that's something you're interested in, this would be a good fit potentially.
All volunteers must be able to pass and maintain a security screening. The successful candidates will begin training in the fall. If you're interested, you can attend an information session on Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Nanaimo RCMP detachment. A 119-year-old Nanaimo Landmark is undergoing a major transformation. After months of fundraising, construction is underway at St. Andrew's United Church to repair the 4 steeples on the aging landmark. The church says it's raised enough money to fix the church's steeples, but still has a long way to go. It still needs to fix the leaking roof, cracking pews, and the rotting floor.
We were originally looking for around $700,000, but we're only probably at maybe $250,000 at the moment, so we've got a long ways to go yet. So we're probably not going to reach our target because we only have, we're into our 3rd year now, so next April will be probably the wind up of the fundraising. We'll, continue to do our renovations and what have you through the congregation, and any contributions or donations that come after that is greatly appreciated.
The church's capital campaign is still trying to raise $750,000 to keep the building standing. If you'd like to make a donation, you can call the church's officer at 250-753-1924.